Welcome to the Strong by Design podcast show. Hosting today, Coach Chris Wilson here in my lovely office. You can see all my action figures behind me. Haven't really talked much about them. In this case, the glass display case behind me. Pretty cool, right? Got a lot there. I have a lot more actually in the other side of my office, but that's a conversation for a different day. How about that? So, today's a little bit different because I got to be honest with you. I was going to record yesterday. I had a lot of different thoughts in my mind, different topics and subject matter, things that, ideas that have come up over the years that have been jotted down in various places. And I usually look over a list of talking points. What do I feel like talking about today? Where's my heart? Where's my passion? Where's my mind? And I like to speak about things that I can get excited about in the moment. I don't want to have it be a forced conversation, a forced topic here on our podcast, because I want every single episode to really be able to impact the other side, to impact you, the listeners on the other end. And I prayed before this recording that the words would be there and that my message would be heard and felt by someone that I'll probably never meet. And just knowing that I can affect one other person's life, I think that's where all of us in the world of podcasting need to be. If what I say today can really help inspire someone else for change, we've done our job, so to speak, but this is just fun for me, and I'm just so fortunate and grateful I get this opportunity. So if you're a first-time listener to the Strong by Design podcast, welcome. This is a solo episode. Coach Chris just going off on his own subject or topic of choice today. And I have a really interesting thing that I came to the conclusion yesterday after a lot of soul searching of what I wanted to talk about. I came to the point where I was like, yes, and I invested a lot of time and effort in coming up with good notes, and then I realized I was out of time to record the episode, so I had to push it a day. And so here we are, but now I know what I wanted to talk about. It's funny because it is all about time. And so, hey, before I get there, though, if you are a return listener, thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciate you, and know that there's a lot of past conversations that have helped you in some way, and we're going to continue to have. I have some great stuff lined up over the course of the summer. Episodes I'm hosting, as well as episodes that Jared Haley will be hosting, Joe Miller will be hosting, and Mike Westerdahl will be hosting. So some great stuff coming up in the coming months over the course of summertime here, 2022. And so today's topic, the topic that I was struggling to come up with yesterday, and then it just hit me like a brick. If we could all just slow down time. If we could just pause a little bit. You ever get that feeling? I've had it this week in particular, where I'm feeling overwhelmed a little bit with what I have going on here at the office, things I'm responsible for, things I need to do a better job delegating, and deadlines I need to hit. But new stuff continues to come, and sometimes we all just wish if there was a big giant red button where we could just press pause and just allow us to be able to get done what's in front of us so that we could be more prepared and ready for the stuff that's coming. I kind of feel like I'm just like struggling to get that, that next thing done as 2 or 3 more new things come, and it's overwhelming. As much as I love what I do, and I've talked about that so much in past episodes, I love my work, but sometimes even if you love it, you can drown in it. You can feel overcome by it, overwhelmed by it. And this is a very real, very normal thing for a lot of us to feel. And if we could just hit pause and slow things down a little bit, just like, I'm like, can I just have 1 week? Almost like a vacation where I use the vacation time to catch up on all the work. Which doesn't make sense, right? That's not what vacation's for, but it's kind of what I need, So I was doing some reading and found an article that really hit on a lot of these points. And so I'm loosely kind of talking about what the article covered. The article is actually written by Rebecca Fishbein. The name of the article is How to Make Time Slow Down. It's from like a year or so ago. And she hit on some really, really good points. And so I wanted to kind of talk through, and these are all things that I was in line with. And so one of the first things that really caught my attention was the fact that so much of our life is routine. So much of what we do, from waking up to how we prepare for the day to, the first half of our workday and lunch, and the second half of our workday and dinner and blah, blah, blah. And now, again, I love my days. I look forward to my Mondays. I've talked about that before. I like what I do. I like my life very much. And that's one part of it, right? But still, you can still be really habitual and have these routines in place that are helpful, but also time just feels like it's flying. So what it was saying in the article is that, routines make time speed up. And sometimes all we need is a little bit of a change in our lives and some new things in our lives to occupy our time. So it's a perception thing, right? Time doesn't speed up and slow down. That's impossible, right? If somebody figures that one out, then we're all in for it, right? That'll be an interesting day if that ever happens. I don't see that happening, but our perception of time absolutely changes. Think about your perception of time as a child. When you were 5, 6, 7 years old, a school day felt like forever. A school week, a school month, how about a school year? Felt like it took forever, right? And all you want to do is get older when you're a kid. You want to grow up. Summertime felt like, oh man, that summer vacation was like, it might as well have been a year. It felt like it was forever. Everything to a kid is new and exciting, and that's why for kids, life isn't so much about routines. Yes, they do go through a lot of the same stuff, but kids are like absorbing, they're sponges. They're absorbing and seeing the world differently, almost every day, every moment. And so for them, I think time just does move slower. As adults, anybody who's a parent can attest to this one. We blink and like a month goes by. Right? How about a whole year in a flash? And the saying that, the days are long, but the years are short. It's never been truer than when you have a family and you see your children growing. It's unbelievable. You're not seeing day to day them getting taller, getting more mature and all this, but when you blink and all of a sudden they've gone from first grade to junior high school, and you're like, what in the world just happened? It's really how things can feel. So break your routine up a little bit. Not saying like catastrophic, but maybe a few things that get you a little bit out of rhythm in a healthy way so that you don't feel like you're just going through the motions of life like a robot. Okay? Another thing that I thought was so true of me and my wife was we love new experiences that involve travel. And it doesn't have to be like world travel. It could just be like in your state, in your, in your area, the county that you live in. It could be just in your country, right? It doesn't have to be international travel, although that's amazing as well. But getting out, going to new places, new experiences, help break routine, help break habits, right? This exploration. When we're exploring the world, I'm a big outdoors person. I love going to, I live in Florida, but besides doing a lot of outdoor activity here in Florida, we love going up into North Georgia, into the Carolinas, Eastern Tennessee, places like that where it's just a beautiful part of the country. There's so much to do outside. There's national parks up there, and it's just awesome. We go for hikes and just really enjoy. So doing stuff like that as often as possible, even short duration type things, 4-day, 5-day type things can be great. Do it as often as you can. If you can't do a whole week, let's just say, do a long weekend. Take a Friday and a Monday off or something, right? And then leave on a Thursday night, and then don't come back till Monday. And take a 2, 4, 6-hour drive somewhere in your area that's new, and make new memories. That's a great way to slow down time, obviously. I just love it so much with my family, traveling with my family, but I've also done some traveling with friends, and that can be just great too. Our recent trip over the spring break, we went to St. Croix, and there was 3 families. Mike Westerdahl, who I work for, the founder of Critical Bench, who I've been close friends with since high school, and then one of our other high school friends, him and his. So it was 3 families all together in a house, and it was a wonderful time. But doesn't time on vacation seem to really go by kind of slower? Because every day is a little something different, right? And it's just new. Everything's new. And so that's another great way to slow things down a little bit. Here's another one that is so true of especially high achievers and people who are GSD in it, getting stuff done, and action takers. We set a lot of goals. We're goal oriented. We strive to reach this quarterly goal or this monthly or annual goal, and that's great. Making these big goals, right, and having actionable steps to get there. The trouble is sometimes these goals are very big and take a long time to get to. And so I think oftentimes these big, amazing goals can suck the life out of us, really, and can be exhaustive, right, because that's where all of our focus is. Sometimes I think we need to do a better job of breaking these up into smaller, bite-sized pieces, so that we can have more a sense of accomplishment and not feel like we're working on the same thing forever. Okay, so like an example of this could be, you want to read the whole Bible or something. I'm just throwing something out there, totally top of mind, and you are investing X amount of time on a daily basis reading through it. And it can feel like, and it's a pretty big book, and it can feel pretty daunting. But let's scale it back a little bit and say, hey, let's not necessarily focus on the Bible. Let's focus on a book in the Bible. And let me really take my time and just read like chapter at a time, or even less than that, and really absorb what I'm reading rather than just reading for the sake of getting through something as fast as possible. Let me break this up in a smaller bite-sized piece and really take in what I'm reading, the words on this page here, how this can impact my life. That's what I do is I typically have like an Old Testament book and a New Testament book going at the same time. So let's say randomly, I'm reading Proverbs and I'm also reading like John or something, right? So you got Old Testament and a New Testament. And then I'll kind of just flip-flop back and forth and pick through them nice and slowly. I'm not in a race. I want to kind of get as much out of it as I possibly can. And so it can work for any goal. It can work for a work goal, for a personal goal like that. It can work for a hobby, something, or a skill, something that you're working at getting better at. Rather than trying to fast forward your way there, break it up a little bit and come up with more reasonable, realistic goals that don't stress you out and become burdensome. You want your goals, you want different levels of goals. You want maybe those, what I've learned from Mike and all the mentoring and leadership stuff that he's been involved with. You have different levels of goals. You have your like moonshot goal, which is like the really Mac Daddy big one. And then you have more of a like, a hard goal, challenging goal, but the one that's definitely attainable. And then you have more of your, lower level goals, like just, maybe like weekly, monthly type stuff. So I think a good way to do that is just go through the things that you want to accomplish in your workplace, in your personal life, and have some grand goals, but then have some smaller things where you can celebrate those wins and victories a little bit. And you're not feeling so daunted and overwhelmed and challenged by all these big things that you have all lined up for yourself. Because that can be real defeating. If you have all these grand plans and you're never achieving any of them, and they're just still looming off in the distance, it's like, man, I'm never going to get there. And then you're frustrated and defeated and stressed out. Instead, like set your marker a little bit closer, and then get to that marker, Just like if you're off on a hike, you're not looking at the summit necessarily from the start. Let's just focus on like where can I get in the next couple hours, So break up those big goals into smaller actionable steps. All right, let's move along. So this is something that's so true of me in particular, and I noticed it, probably just a week or two ago. I was driving, and I forget if I was taking my kids somewhere or going to an event of some kind, and I looked, and I noticed, I think it was a tree, or it was a house and a tree, a property, that I never noticed before on a route that I commonly drove. And I don't know if I was stopped at a spot that I'm normally not stopped, or I just happened to look a certain way. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at what a beautiful tree, and what a cool house, or whatever it was. And I'm like, I don't ever remember noticing that before ever in my life. And I've driven on this road for years. And it kind of hit me. I'm like, man, there's so much that we miss, right? So we have a tendency in life to just blindly go from A to B, don't we? We're on autopilot. And I know personally I can do a lousy job of noticing all there is around me and really taking it in. And I think the speed of life really takes a hold of us. And a lot of us operate this way. And this is one reason why I love, my schedule is not like a set schedule, so to speak. I don't clock in and clock out here at Critical Bench, which is fantastic. Because now, granted, I have meetings and I have things I got to be here for, right? And I have a certain time of day that I'm typically always here by 10 o'clock at the very latest. But oftentimes I'm here at like 9 to 9:30 range after I drop the kids at school. But what's cool is I don't usually schedule anything, like an important meeting or anything, until I know for sure that I'll already be at the office. So I'm never in really a rush. So I can take my time driving, and I can listen to my audiobooks or music of some kind, worship music or a podcast, whatever it is I'm listening to, and really just be in the moment and enjoy my drive, where I think most of us are like scatterbrained, stressed out, trying to get to our destination as fast as possible, and traffic is annoying and frustrating and stressful and all the things that we don't like about traffic, whereas I can kind of be in traffic and not really be focused on it, right? It's like, what gets our attention when we're driving? If all we're focused on is like getting to our destination as fast as possible, then yeah, everyone's going to be an irritant that's in front of us, slowing us down or cutting us off. But if we're just kind of, we know where we're going and we're headed that direction, but we're not in a rush, and we can use that time to our advantage. That's why I love doing that. And I think one step further would be then to, when you come to a stoplight or a stop sign or whatever, look around a little bit, take it in a little bit, the area that you're in. Maybe drive a new way to the office, to work, or drive a new way home, or go to a different spot for lunch, or go a new, see your surroundings a little bit differently. Give yourself that new experience, even though it's something that you're going to go home after work. Go a different way, And I think just little things like that just make you appreciate your environment, your surroundings, the town or the community that you live in a little bit more. I know it did for me. I can only speak from experience, right? All right, so moving on. This is something that I think we could all do better at, myself included, but I have been doing some of this, is spending some time in silence, whether that's a form of meditation, relaxing in a hammock. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Although, I don't know, wherever you live, maybe that's not an option, but I'm here in tropical Florida, so hammocks are abundant down this way. So I've found my way into a hammock on occasion, but I would like to do that more. But focus on your breathing a little bit. Maybe getting out and being in nature with no devices, no distractions. Things like that are great ways to just enjoy the sounds of silence. How about going for a walk in the morning, right around when the sun rises? If you have a dog, this makes that even much more enjoyable. What else could you do? You could go for that midday walk around lunchtime, before or after lunch, or at night. You could go to the beach. I mean, that's something that we do, or, go in the woods, depending on where you live. Gosh, I grew up in the Northeast. I used to love just being in the woods, especially as a kid. The sounds of with the birds and the way the wind, and just being in nature is very good for your soul, I think. But I just think being outside and getting fresh air and getting some sunshine and hearing, just the world, rather than being in a box and listening and being around all the technology and devices and stuff. And I thank God for them, because I use them in my work day. But I also know I need to, do a better job of unplugging and getting away from that stuff and enjoying the sounds of silence, because that does help time slow down for me, without question. All right, I got 3 more things for you, okay? 3 more things. One thing that I've done my whole life, in some moments really well, in some other moments I forget how much I enjoy doing it. So I'm kind of in and out of this one, but I've had success with it, is writing things down. And that could be, there's a lot of different ways to do this. You could just log your day, almost like an overview. I used to do this a lot. I have books of this stuff where I just write about my day. And it's fun to go back and read these things, right? And remember certain moments, certain days of your life that are completely off your radar, but you go back and you read. I would enter the actual date. I would talk about dates with my wife, or an experience at work or something like that. And it's really cool to go back. And, I'm sure at some point when I'm older, I think my kids would probably get a lot out of that, or find that really interesting. Where my mind was back when I was in my 20s or 30s or something. So, but that can be a really good reflection thing to do, is just to write down your thoughts and feelings. How about you just track what you're eating? Write down your foods. It makes you be a little bit more thoughtful about what you're putting in your body. track your exercise and your workouts. Write down what your workouts are. You could just write down maybe a powerful lesson for the day, or something to celebrate, or a victory, a win that you had in your life, and keep a record of that. We do that here in our daily huddles and team meetings. Is we have to come up with a lesson and a victory for the day. In our team meetings, we go around the room and celebrate either a particular person we work with or our team as a whole. How does this help slow down time? Well, it helps slow down time because it gets your mind to really focus on the things that matter more, rather than just going through the motions. And I think that's the underlying theme of everything I'm talking about, is we got to break away from going through motions of life and really be present and be a part of our life as much as we possibly can be, rather than just that autopilot type thing, running on fumes, running on, with blinders on to the world, and just going and getting stuff done without really focusing on it, thinking about it, and understanding the value of what it is we're doing, or how grateful we are for the day that we have, to live. So writing things down, I think, is great. I have a Ben Greenfield book right here, a spiritual disciplines journal that I started using, and I got away from using it, to be honest, but I was using it for quite a while, and you can see all these entries here. I have, like I said, I had another great log book where I have it. I probably have it here somewhere, where I've written down. I think actually it's right here. Yep, it's right here. Yeah, you hear me shuffling for it because this is it right here. This is the book I'm talking about. I started this. Here's a picture of me and my wife. I started this July 5th, 2003. And I wrote in this consistently for years. And my last entry, this is probably going to be a little embarrassing. When is the last time I wrote in this thing? Wow. It's been 3 years, almost to the day. July 19th, 2019 was the last day that I wrote in this. Yep. This book is about a little over halfway filled up, but it has probably 100 pages worth of thoughts and feelings over 2003 to 19, over a 16-year span. And there's moments where I'm really good, where I wrote consistently over a period of weeks and months, and then months would go by and I didn't. But maybe now that I have it out on my desk, I'll start doing it again. Take my own advice. But it's fun to go back. I'm telling you, it makes you appreciate your world, your life, the people in it, and how much we see our growth and our change. I've grown and changed a lot in 20 years, so that'll be fun to go back and pick through that. Here's another one. Snap off some photos. Now, some people are really good at this. Some people are awful at it. You want to be somewhere probably, I say, in the middle, because some people live through their camera or through their phone, snapping off pictures. It's like, dude, can you be fully present for a second, not be behind the camera, and actually just live your life and enjoy it a little bit? But I think some of us could do a better job of capturing special moments. And photos obviously are a terrific way to capture a special moment and to be able to go back and look at them. But what's really cool, what happens at home a lot, is pictures that my wife takes on her phone. It's somehow, and I don't even remember how this is connected, it's connected to our TV. So when our TV is on, but we're not watching it, it goes to almost like a rest mode, or whatever you want to call it, where it starts putting pictures up on the television screen, and it goes through all these photos, and it's just a complete random mix of photos from from my wife's phone over a period of many years. And the kids and I will just sit there and just look at these photos. And they come up every like 30 seconds, like a new picture comes up and it just rotates through like a slideshow. And we get so much fun just doing that. It makes us really appreciate all the moments we've had together. You know, it'll be a picture of my daughter that comes up, or my son doing baseball, or all of us together on a family trip, or, oh my gosh, that's before you lost your teeth, or oh my God, you know, and it's just, it slows things down a little bit. It makes you appreciate special moments that you've had with people that you really love. And so have some photos that are special to you. And you know what? If you have pictures that are really extra special, print those darn things out. We leave so many of our great photos on our phone, and maybe we share them on social media and stuff, but if you have a photo that you absolutely love, turn it into a canvas, or blow it up into a nice big picture and put that proudly up on your wall, or on your desk here at work. I have a photo right here of my baseball season that I just had with the kids that I coached, and all my coaches that are my buddies. And I love it. I love looking at it. It makes me feel good to know that I'm doing something good for all these young boys. And we have so much fun. And so have those photos around you, so that maybe when you're having a bad moment or life feels like it's coming at you a million miles an hour, you can just look across the room and see a photo that brings you back to that moment. Just makes you feel good. And you can focus on that for a second. Maybe that's the reboot or the reset that you need in that day. And your day just gets better. And then lastly, I think all of us can do a better job here, is that we need to stop punishing ourselves and give ourselves some grace. Because things like yesterday, I was a little bit, I wouldn't say I was maxed out yesterday. I definitely felt overwhelmed yesterday, kind of throughout the whole day. Just things I'm responsible for, as I said at the start of the podcast, things I need to get done, and I know the people I work with could feel that from me, and what I needed to do is just, what's the next thing I can get done? What's that next best thing I can do? That one thing. And we can't do it all. We certainly can't do it all in one day or in one moment. And so having your goals and your plans and all these dreams and things are good and important, and we need to have them. But we need to be able to prioritize them. Because no matter how hard we work, we're not going to be able to get everything done that we want to get done in the time that we give ourselves typically. And then we feel like we're always failing ourselves, and we feel defeated and stuff. So we just need to be smart with how we prioritize and plan ahead, be realistic, be strategic, do a better job. I mean, speaking to me now, doing a better job of delegating minor stuff and minor tasks and to-dos and to other support staff, not feeling like we're in control of everything and we have to do everything. Let some stuff go. Focus on the big stuff, the stuff that really matters the most, right? We can't do it all. We can't do everything. So stop beating yourself up over it. Give yourself some grace. And for me, what I do is I pray. I pray for strength. I pray for wisdom. I pray for perseverance. I pray for calm. And I just end with gratitude, as I've said so many times before. I thank God for all my blessings in my life, all the people in my life, all the moments in my life, all the opportunities I've been given. I wouldn't be where I am today without the hundreds, if not thousands, of interactions that I've had with people that have helped push me and steer me and drive me into the path that I'm on. And I think if we can focus on that a little bit more, we can slow things down a little bit and catch our breath just for a moment. Realize that we can't do it all. We're not supposed to be able to do it all. Focus on what matters most. Take a breath. Go for a walk. Look at a picture. Slow down some time for yourself. And take time to do the things that matter. So that's it. That's Coach Chris here at Strong by Design. It's been fun. I don't know if you've heard, but Coach Frank is off in the distance. My office is kind of near our 4,000 square foot facility, and he is filming today. So if you have heard any booming, distant voice coming through the mic, that is Coach Frank. So I apologize for that. But anyway, you probably didn't. But he's been in my ear the entire podcast. All right. So much love to you from Coach Chris. Hope you got something out of this. Please share this episode with someone who could benefit from the things that I've said. I hope you can benefit from something that I said today, and help your life slow down just a little bit and appreciate all the wonderful things that you have. Be fully present. So hit that 5 stars wherever you are. Please leave us a rating and review. We've been getting some great ones in. Maybe I read some on the last episode. I'll wait a few more episodes. I'll read some more because we got some great ones coming in. Because it is fun to acknowledge these and to share these reviews with you. Because hey, if you're an avid listener and leave one, there's a good chance I'll read yours pretty soon here in the coming weeks. So God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a great week, and we'll be back, as always, next Wednesday. A new episode drops here on Strong by Design. God bless you. Bye-bye.